So a blend is nice. If you get real particular with any particular one nutrient, it's kind of like essential fatty acids, EPA, DHA, cod liver oil, krill. There's a variety of different things. Same thing with probiotics. Okay, we're talking about kind of the same thing here. There's all kinds of different strands. Okay, so the way that I like to approach it is to vary it. So you rotate it essentially, right? So your calcium, the variety of different calciums that you can take, if you were taking one before you started taking, the supplements that we're giving you, and it's different, in my opinion, that's good because a lot of times people will um, take one and they read from their mother, sister, brother, talking head online somewhere that this was the one that was going to, address their particular issue. But in reality, the body is dynamic and it's got different things that it requires for proper absorption. So I think rotating, and I like to rotate on the quarter, so every 3 months, right? So you can consider rotating like your calcium, every 3 months. Same thing with your probiotics, and same thing with the levels of your like EPA, DHA, or fish oils, essential fatty acids. So that's my approach because it's more foundational and is the way that I look at that.
Mhm.
But the vitamin D is the component that a lot of people are missing when they're taking calcium specifically. So if there's any other approaches that any of the other practitioners take, I'm all ears and open to that conversation as well. But I like the rotation approach because then you're not you're not getting, let's say, the same strand of probiotic over and over and over and over and over and running the risk of it overgrowing, right? You're not
Mhm.
getting the same amount of EPA or DHA from your essential fatty acids and your fish oils and those sorts of things. Not the same amount, same amount, same amount. The underlying concept is adaptability. Okay. So the more adaptable an individual, the healthier they are. And you want to teach your body to be adaptable. So an example that I like to give is somebody who eats the same way, same time, in terms of fasting. We get a lot of questions about fasting. They're like, "Oh my gosh, I it used to work for me, right?" But then they've been doing it for the same way, the same, time they eat, the same period of time, the same window of time for a prolonged period of time. And I'm saying the word time a lot, but hopefully you understand where I'm going here is if you do it the same way, your body at the cellular level, they're like, okay, Dr. Katie's eating at noon again today. It's been 2 years. So I'm going to just respond the way that I always do. Right. And they just get what I call like kind of meh, they're like, meh, just doing the same thing, the same way over and over. Right. And that's where that variation creates adaptability. Okay. So when we look at fasting or this rotational approach with your nutrients, um, then your body like it gets intrigued, right, at the cellular level. And the cells are like, whoa, she's eating at a different time, a different period of time, and she's giving me different variations of food. And then she's also like asking me to do different things, right? So that's why movement, that's we don't emphasize that quite yet, but that's why the variation of movement, walking, playing pickleball, tennis, whatever it might be, even if you're just walking up and down your stairs to start, if you haven't done anything in particular for quite some time, it's just a matter of starting. But that variation causes your cells to stay sharp. So we like to always say sharpen the saw when we're talking about coaching and training and learning and making sure that we're up to speed for you guys in our area of expertise. What you're doing is even by just following the HHA process. Okay, what you're doing is we're teaching your cells to become more adaptable. In the meantime, you're allowing for them to absorb more and get rid of the nasty stuff that you've accumulated over the years. So then, therefore, your body can function more optimally. So, in other words, we're laying a really solid foundation so we can minimize the variables that have to be considered as you complete phase 4. And then if there's anything remaining, then we know, whoop, that's got to be the laser focus right there. We got to get the foundation first, though, because if you have certain, let's say diagnosis, or you've got certain symptoms per se that you're like, these are nagging, these are not going away. Well, we've got to establish that solid foundation, because if we troubleshoot from the beginning, which is very common, unfortunately, then there's just way too many variables to consider, and you don't really know what the target is. Whereas if we go through the HHA process, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, it's very common for people to actually improve as they go through in a great way, whether that be blood work, symptom reduction, mobility, brain fog, hair thickening, energy, digestive issues. We have them all. And I'm sure you guys have seen all of those wins that people do mention. And it's very common because we're giving the body exactly what it needs, not only in nutrients from supplementation, the proper fuel or food that cells need in order to heal properly and efficiently. But we're also teaching you different strategies to allow for those nutrients to be maximized, right? So hopefully that concept of variability sticks here. That's what I was trying to get across, to maximize the absorption and to maximize your body's healing capability.